My name is Sophie. I am 24 years old. I work as a fashion model. I wear clothes for big brands. People know my face. I walk on runways in Paris and Milan. I take photos for famous magazines. I smile in front of the camera every day. I look happy in every photo. But the truth is different. I am not always happy. I feel tired. I feel lost. I want something more. I was not always rich. I was not always famous. I grew up in a small town. We had little money. My dad worked in a garage. My mom cleaned homes. We ate simple food. My shoes had holes. My coat was old, but we were close. My parents worked hard. They gave me love. They gave me hope. I wanted to make them proud. At 16, a woman saw me at a train station. She worked for a model agency. She asked me to try a photo shoot. I said yes. I had never been in front of a camera before. I was shy. I did not wear makeup, but they liked my face. They said I looked strong and soft at the same time. That photo shoot changed my life. I moved to the city. I lived in a small flat. I shared it with 2 girls. We worked long hours. We ate noodles every night. We walked to every job. We did not sleep much. But I started getting calls. I got small jobs. Then I got bigger ones. Soon people knew my name. They put my face on billboards. I walked on stages with lights and music. People clapped when I walked. My phone never stopped ringing. At 21, I was the face of a luxury brand. They gave me free clothes. They flew me first class. I stayed in big hotels. People on the street asked for photos. I had many fans. They said I was beautiful. They said I had a perfect life. But they did not know everything. I still remembered my old life. I remembered cold nights with no heat. I remembered my mother's tired hands. I remembered hungry days. So when I started making money, I wanted to help. Not for show. Not for likes. Just because I knew how hard life could be. Every month, I gave money to places that helped poor families. I sent food to a small school. I paid for books and clothes for children. I did it in secret. I did not tell the world. I did not want cameras. I did not want praise. I wanted peace in my heart. One day, I went to visit a small shelter in the city. I wore simple clothes. No makeup. No high heels. Just jeans and a sweater. I brought warm food and blankets. I helped the women carry boxes. I sat on the floor with them. We talked about life. We laughed a little. Some of them had babies. Some had no families. I felt close to them. I felt real. For a few hours, I was not a model. I was just Sophie, a girl who cared. But then it happened. A camera flash. I turned my head. A man stood near the door. He held a camera. His eyes met mine. He smiled. Then he ran. I knew what would happen next. The next morning, my face was on the news. Famous model at local shelter. Angel in secret. She cares for the poor. The pictures were everywhere. On my phone, on magazines, on social media. People were shocked. They said I was kind. They said I had a big heart. My fans cheered. My followers grew. Everyone wanted to talk to me about it. But I did not feel happy. I felt small. I felt seen in a way I did not want. I did not want thanks. I did not want words. I wanted to help in silence. I wanted to keep that part of me safe. That week, my manager said, "This is good for you. The world sees the real you." But I did not agree. That was not the real me. That was a part of me that I gave in quiet. That part did not need a stage. I stopped going to the shelter for some time. I did not want more photos. I did not want more lights. I wanted to disappear. But I could not. My face was too known. I was in ads, in malls, on buses. I felt trapped. One day, a letter came to my flat. It had no name. Inside was a small card. It said, "You helped my daughter. Thank you." I sat at my table. I looked at the card for a long time. My hands felt warm. My eyes felt wet. That was all I wanted. No crowd. No show. Just a quiet thank you from someone I helped. That night I thought about my life. What do I really want? I like fashion. I love art. I like walking on stage. But I also want to help. I want to do both. Can I do both? I made a plan. I would still help. But I would be careful. I would send money in other names. I would visit places at night. I would work with people I trust. I would keep that part of my heart safe. I also learned something else. I cannot control everything. Sometimes the world sees things. Sometimes people find out. But that does not change my reason. It does not change who I am. Fame is light, but light can burn. Kindness is soft. It does not need noise. It does not wear makeup. It does not smile for the camera. It just gives. And that is enough. Before I share the rest of my story, I need to know, where are you listening from? Knowing someone hears me, understands me, gives me strength. I started to walk in two lives. One life was full of light, camera flashes, and loud music. That life had many people. Some smiled, some lied, some watched me too closely. The other life was quiet. I did not wear makeup. I did not post anything. I just helped where I could. That life had soft voices and slow moments. I liked the second life more, but I needed both. My job gave me money. It gave me reach. It gave me power. I used it to do good. I paid for clean water in a small town. I bought warm jackets for children before winter. I sent money to a girl with no parents. I helped fix a broken roof for a small school. I did all this with care. I used no name. I gave no face. I gave only help. But fame is not quiet. It follows you. It looks for you. It wants stories. One day, a woman came to a store near my house. She saw me give money to a young man who worked there. His mother was sick. He needed help. I gave it to him. I did not say much, but the woman took a photo from behind a shelf. The next day, the photo was online. Model saves worker's family. People shared it. Again and again, I felt tired. Why could I not do one kind thing in peace? Why must the world know everything? It made me feel like my kindness was fake, like I wanted attention. But I did not. I never did. I talked to a woman at the shelter. Her name was Beth. She was old and kind. Her eyes were warm. She said to me, "Why does it matter if they know?" I looked at her and said, "Because then it feels like a show. Not love, just noise." She smiled and said, "But you helped. That's real. Even if the world sees it. The good still happened." Her words stayed with me. Maybe I was too afraid of being seen. Maybe I forgot that people can still mean well, even with eyes on them. Still, I missed the silence. I missed helping without the world watching. At work, things were changing too. The brand I worked for wanted to use my story. They said I was an example. They wanted me to speak at events, to wear shirts that said, "Give more," or "Help first." I said no. I said my story was not a tool. They did not understand. They thought I should be proud. I was proud, just in a quiet way. Not the way they wanted. Some jobs stopped calling. They said I was too serious, not fun anymore. They wanted girls who smiled all the time, who posted every day. I did not care. I had enough. I wanted peace more than praise. I moved to a new flat outside the city. It was small and green. I had a dog now. His name was Leo. He followed me everywhere. He did not care if I was famous. He just liked when I gave him food and played with him in the grass. At night, I sat near the window. I drank tea. I watched the sky. I thought about my younger self, the girl who wore old shoes, the girl who said yes to a photo shoot at a train station. She did not know what was coming. She just hoped for a better life. I smiled at that girl. She had no idea how far she would go. She had no idea how hard it would be to stay true. One day, I got a message from a young woman. She said she wanted to model, but she also wanted to help people. She asked, "Can I do both?" I wrote back, "Yes, but it's not easy. You will need to fight for your silence. You will need to protect your heart." She said thank you. That made me happy. Maybe my story could help someone. Even if I never wanted it to be a story, I kept helping. I gave less in person, more online, quiet donations, hidden names. I worked with a friend I trusted. She sent help in her name. I stayed behind the wall. I felt safe there. But still, sometimes my name came out. People guessed. People wrote things. I could not stop it. I could only choose how to act. I stopped reading the news. I stopped checking what people said. If they liked me, good. If they didn't, also fine. I did not live for them. I lived for the quiet thanks, for the small smile of a mother who got food, for the shy wave of a child with a warm coat, for a boy who went to school because someone paid his fee. I lived for that. That was enough. Once, a girl from the shelter found me. She was now working in a small bakery. She looked clean and bright. She hugged me. She said, "You helped me. That night when you sat with me, you listened. No one else did." I smiled. I remembered her. She was quiet back then. She did not talk much. I did not think she noticed me, but she did. That made my heart warm. Fame cannot give you that. Cameras cannot give you that. Only time and care and truth can give that. Sometimes I still walk down the runway. I wear the clothes. I let them do my makeup. I smile for the lights. But I do not live there. That is a costume. It is a job. When the lights go off, I go home. I take off the makeup. I play with Leo. I call my mother. I send money to a boy in a small village. That is my real life. I do not hide anymore. I do not post about my giving. but I do not feel shame if someone finds out. I do not run from it. I do not feel proud or shy. I just feel quiet, and peace lives in quiet places. That is what I learned. The world will always watch, but I do not have to dance for it. I can walk my own path. I can smile without showing my teeth. I can help without needing thanks. I can be seen and still be true. The world may call me a star, but I know the truth. I am just Sophie, a girl from a small town, a girl who got lucky, a girl who helps where she can, a girl who does not need to be seen to feel real, and that is more than enough. A year passed. My name was still in the news from time to time, but not as much. A younger model became the new face for the brand I worked with. She was fresh, full of energy, and she loved the spotlight. I was happy to step back. I had done that life for long enough. I did not miss the sound of cameras. I did not miss the long nights in hotel rooms. I missed only one thing: my old self. The quiet girl who once looked in the mirror and smiled with no reason. I started to do less work. I chose only jobs that felt right. A few brands still called me. They liked that I had a story. They said I was different. They wanted real now. But I did not trust that word. In fashion, even real is sometimes fake. One day, a woman asked to make a short film about me. She wanted to show my life behind the photos. I said no at first. I told her I did not want to be shown again. But she said something that made me stop. "This film is not about you," she said. "It's about the good you helped grow." I thought about it for many days. I walked with Leo in the fields. I looked at the sky. I asked myself, can this help someone? I was afraid of being the face again. But maybe, if I stayed honest, the story would not be mine alone. So I said yes. But I had one rule: no lights, no makeup, no fake scenes. Just the truth. They filmed me walking near my house, feeding Leo, visiting the bakery where the girl from the shelter now worked, sitting on a bench in the park, drinking tea from a paper cup. Simple things, normal things, the things that felt like home. The film was short, only 10 minutes. It showed my hands holding bread, my boots stepping into soft mud, a child smiling as he opened a new backpack. My voice was soft. I spoke only a few lines. "Not everything needs to be seen," I said in the film. "But if you do see it, I hope it helps you see yourself." The film went online. It did not go viral. It did not get 1 million likes. But it reached the right people. I got quiet messages. A mother said she cried. A boy said he now wanted to help his sister. A teacher said her class watched it and talked about giving. That was enough. One message stayed with me. A man wrote, "You helped me remember who I was before the world told me to be loud." I read it many times. It felt close. It felt true. I did not change the world. I did not build a big group or start a big plan. I just kept giving. I kept helping one person at a time. I kept choosing small over big. I kept my heart soft. The world did not stop watching, but I learned how to live with that. I learned to breathe even when eyes were on me. I did not feel shame now. I felt sure. I knew why I did what I did. That was my answer. That was my peace. I often visited the shelter again, not to fix lives, just to listen. Sometimes that is more. I brought warm food. I brought soft clothes. I brought my time, and no one took photos. I asked them not to. One cold evening, I sat with a woman who had 2 young sons. She told me about her life. Her husband left her. She lost her job. They slept in a car for 2 weeks. She cried when she talked. Not loud tears, just quiet ones. I held her hand. She said, "No one sees me." I looked at her and said, "I see you." That was all, but it meant something. I walked home that night. My coat was warm. The stars were out. I thought, maybe life is not about big wins. Maybe it is about small moments like that one. Sometime later, I went back to my hometown. I had not been there in years. The roads were the same. The bakery near the corner still sold the same bread. My school was still there. I walked past it and smiled. I saw myself at 12, holding a book, walking home. I visited my parents. They were older now. My father still fixed cars. My mother still kept her old teapot. We sat together and talked about normal things. My work, their garden, the dog. No fame, no money talk, just life. My father looked at me and said, "You are still our girl, even if the world sees something else." I smiled. That meant more than any magazine cover. Before I left, my mother gave me a box. Inside were old photos. One showed me at 8 years old, holding a puppy. One showed our old home. One showed me in the kitchen, baking bread. I looked at them for a long time. So much had changed. But inside, I was still that girl. Now, I live in a small house with Leo. I wake up early. I make tea. I take long walks. I work sometimes. I help often. I say no more than I say yes. I speak less. I listen more. People still ask me why I hid my giving. I always say the same thing. Because not all light is kind, and not all silence is empty. Some things grow best in the dark. Some love does not need sound. Some truth does not need to be shared. But if it is, it should be real. And in the end, the only thing I wanted the world to see was that you can care and still be quiet. You can give and not want thanks. You can live in the light and still walk with grace. That is my story. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and share. More emotional and inspiring stories are coming soon.